Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope that all of you are having a fantastic weekend so far. I hope you're all staying healthy and strong, and good luck to many of you who are taking IELTS exams over the next couple of days. Welcome Ajay, good to see you. Black Panther, Angel Janat, nice to see a lot of the students in here. Welcome back Sarah, Fuang, Yani, good to see our members. Welcome to our new members, Fatma, Amira, and Dreamcatcher. Students, in this class we are continuing with IELTS speaking section, focusing on IELTS speaking part 3, talking about positive experiences. If you were here in the last class that ended just 30 minutes ago, speaking part 2, the cue card, the long part, it was about making someone happy. And part 3 is connected to part 2. So that's why we will be talking about positive experiences. For tons of help with your IELTS exam, visit us at aehelp.com. For the general IELTS, gieltshelp.com. These are the companion websites to our live streaming. That means we use the exams, the textbooks, the strategies, the videos from these websites. They are our websites, and you have lots of help there. So to join our premium IELTS package, click this big red button there that's just above my head. It is a one-time payment for lifetime access. It's not subscription. You don't need to pay every month. No tricks or gimmicks. We are an IDP affiliate, British Council partner. We're an IELTS test registration center, and we are proud to say that we are industry leaders when it comes to IELTS exam preparation. When you click that Join Now button, you can use the code MARK9 for an additional 10% discount. So check that out. For the general IELTS, same idea, gieltshelp.com. Click that big red button. We have two websites because if you're studying for academic, you should focus on the academic. If you're studying for general, you need to focus on the general. The listening and speaking sections are the same for both, but the reading and writing sections are different. So that's very important. All right. Hello to everybody. I see lots of people have joined up now. That is fantastic. Great to see. Students, we have some interesting times ahead here. So what I mean by that is after this class, we have a bit of a break until next Friday. So there's no class from the 23rd to the 27th. Our class after this class will be on the 28th. That will be speaking part 1 for everybody, and then reading class for our channel subscribers. It's a good idea to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification button so you know when these live classes are happening, and then you can join the subscribers chat classes as well. I will post this schedule after this class. So on the 29th, next week, Saturday, we'll have more classes, and on the 30th, we will have a special light hall class. That light hall class is free for everybody. It's speaking and it's video and audio chat. So check it out. And check out our most recent speaking mock interview with a Sikh candidate from Punjab, India. That's the URL there. I'm just putting those in the chat. It's a solid video, solid performance by that candidate to give you a good idea of what a Band 8 interview would sound like, okay? All right, so lots going on, lots of help for you here, and without further ado, we're going to get into IELTS speaking part 3. I want to do a lot of practice with you in this class, a lot of speaking with our viewers, giving band score estimates, and giving you some tips and strategies for how to improve. Okay, so we'll talk vocabulary, we'll talk grammar, we'll get into all of those as needed. For now, just one big tip to start you off, okay? And I say this all the time, but it is important, and we often need a reminder to do this. So speaking part 3, speak loud and clear. Use the question in your answer. Give an explanation. And remember to include examples. Okay, so we talked about making a person happy in the last class, and we came up with some good vocabulary there. Some of our contributors, our members, used words like cheer up, have a blast, extreme fun. Okay. So there's some really good vocabulary there to describe positive experiences. We also came up with some good ideas. So I spoke about taking a coworker, Maria, to a lunch at an Italian restaurant. We had volunteers speaking about taking their friend to a Justin Bieber concert. Somebody else commissioning a painting of their friend and their dog, or buying a bicycle for someone's niece, as well as a couple of other ideas. And you want to remember those for part 3 because they become useful for your answers. Okay? All right. Blessing Chiranga is asking for a blessing. Blessing Chiranga says, my speaking exam is on Monday. Please wish me the best. Chiranga, all the best on your Monday exam. Lisa, eye contact is important in so people ask, is eye contact important in the IELTS speaking? Yes, eye contact is important for good communication. So of course it's important in IELTS speaking. And it's even more important in professional communication, so job interviews and such. So definitely it's important. It doesn't mean you have to stare at the examiner, so you don't need to be like, hi, my name is Adrian. I'm from Victoria, Canada. I live in a 2-bedroom house. Here's my passport. My favorite hobby is reading books. So you don't need to stare wolf. You just need to, make that eye contact. If you look at the paper, if you look away for a second to think, it's totally okay. So it's not like you have to force eye contact, just natural eye contact, right? Don't look away. All right. So yes, eye contact is important. Good question. Okay, students, questions are welcome. I'm happy to see and read questions throughout this lesson. You don't need to wait for me to stop. You can just do the same, okay? So here we go. Let's talk about creating positive experiences. First question. Let's do this in the chat, and then we'll start getting some volunteers just to get everybody warmed up. Now, students, this is speaking, right? So make sure to speak and repeat. Copy me, copy other students as well. Okay, so not just me. All right, so speak and repeat. Don't just listen. If you're just listening, then you're turning this into a listening class, not a speaking class, right? Eugene, I am doing fantastic. Thank you for asking me. Okay. Pooja is asking, how do I improve a score 6 to a 7? Pooja, you need to not only show that you're fluent in English, but you need to show good English. That means that you have to have clear, accurate answers with good grammar, good vocabulary. Okay, you're going to get a good idea, Pooja, because we will have lots of volunteers today of all different band levels. So you will see what is a band 6, 7, 8, maybe even a 9. Okay, so Here's the question, students. Give me a nice full sentence answer. What are some different ways that people can make others happy? Think about the ideas we had for part 2, and you should be able to answer this fairly easily. Okay? Jas says, I have a lack of ideas. Well, Jas, you shouldn't, because here we already came up with ideas for this question in part 2. This is why your part 2 is so important, because you come up with lots of ideas. Okay? Fuang has this answer. Let's take Fuang's answer from the chat. One of our members here. Fuang says, well, that's an interesting question. There are several different ways that people can make others happy, such as giving presents, expressing our love to them, or going with them to somewhere. Okay. Fuang, not bad. It's a good start. It's a good start. We want to make this a little bit more specific and more accurate. So here we go, Fuang. Watch and learn, not just Fuang, but everybody. What are some different ways that people can make others happy? Well, instead of an interesting question, I would say that's an important question, because it's important to make people happy. Well, that's an important question. So use the right expression. If you're going to use a leading expression, use the best one. Well, that's an important question. There are several different ways. We can paraphrase ways, Fuang. We can say there are several different methods to make others happy. Such as giving presents, expressing our love to them verbally, or through writing, like a birthday card, or going with them to a special place, like a nice Italian restaurant. And obviously here the examiner will clue in, meaning they will realize that you are reflecting your part 2 answer. For those of you that were here last class, you remember that my example was taking a coworker to lunch to an Italian restaurant near the office to cheer them up, make them happy. So here, I'm not giving a personal example, and I'm not even saying like when I took I'm just saying like taking a person to a nice Italian restaurant. So I'm making that connection, okay? So Fuang, this is how you improve the quality of your answer. By improving the content, you're basically always improving lexical resource, coherence, grammatical range, and accuracy. So, you know, I think some of you may question at times, and you should, why is Adrian always so focused on content, on what we're saying? And I think that's a really smart question if you're thinking that, right? Like, why is Adrian so focused on improving the content and accuracy of answers for the speaking, for IELTS speaking? And if you're thinking that, good, that's a really good question to ask. And there's a very, very logical answer to this, and that's just what I said, okay? When you improve your ideas, content, you always increase the quality of your lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy, and most importantly, coherence. And keep this in mind, students, the most important factor for your IELTS band score is coherence. Okay? Obviously, right? I mean, how good are we communicating? How good are we speaking to each other? Easy answer, it depends how well I can understand you based on our topics, right? So that's why I'm always so focused on content. Okay, hope that makes sense. Thumbs up if you got it. All right. Okay, good. Anahita, one of our regular viewers, let's see what you have. I see some good answers there by Chen as well. Harry Jot, thank you for the thumbs up to show that you are picking up what I'm putting down. Okay. All right. Here is Anahita's answer to this question. There are methods such as giving them a hand when they are in need, gifting presents such as flowers, sharing knowledge with them, and telling them individuals' own secrets. These methods not only, where's the rest of it, Anahita? Bring a smile into their lips, but they also elevate their life. Okay, let me grab that. Unfortunately, you can't use emojis during your IELTS speaking, but in the chat, that's fine. Okay, Anahita, let's fix this up a little bit. So here's an important tip, students. It's good to say a couple of ideas, but don't create a really long list. Instead of creating a long list of 4 or 5 different ideas, it's better to stick to 2 or 3 and give more detail. Okay, Anahita? So there are a few methods such as giving a person a hand when they are in need, like carrying groceries up the stairs for an elderly neighbor, gifting presents such as flowers on Mother's Day, let's be specific, or sharing knowledge, like the best way to get a band 9 in IELTS speaking. Okay, I would take out the telling individual secrets. I think it's a little bit awkward in this situation and unclear what you mean by that. So, and then you repeat here these methods. You don't need that, Anahita. So you can just say, not only will this bring, or will these bring a smile to a person's face, not lips. We don't say that in English. I think you're translating there. Not only will these bring a smile to the person's or the people's faces, but they will also be in a positive mood. Now, it's a little bit repetitive, right? If somebody has a smile on their face, then it generally already means that they are in a positive mood. So try not to be wordy, try not to overspeak, okay? But that's the idea. So pay attention to those corrections. So obviously here for Anahita's response, I made it a little bit more natural. I took out some information that made it a bit awkward, like the secret part, and I gave a little bit more detail of what I'm actually saying when I say give somebody a hand, right? So don't just say help somebody, but help somebody how, right? How does that make a person happy, right? Like carrying groceries up the stairs, okay? All right, so that's what you want to do, students, okay? Going back to what I said at the start here, okay? You want to speak loud and clear. You want to use the question in your answers, and both Fuang and Anahita did a good job with that. You want to give a clear explanation, right? So, okay, giving a helping hand, but what does that mean? Let's include an example, like taking some groceries up the stairs. It's those details that will elevate your band score. Okay. All right. So this speaking, we've got about a good hour to go, and then we will have a few days off from the live classes, but make sure to check the channel for our uploads. So I want to spend a lot of time with you in this class practicing. Okay, you've had a lot of tips and strategies this week for speaking in the classes, and you will have more throughout this class. Let's do it workshop style, so practicing these answers. What that means is I will actually take, I don't know, maybe a good dozen volunteers today to speak with me and to give answers. So to volunteer for speaking, everybody, follow these steps. Okay, steps. Firstly, go to aehelp.com. Next, create a My Student account for free, or you can choose the premium version, which is a good idea. I keep pushing that agenda, but for good reason. Then click on Student Partner Speaking. Okay. Make sure that your microphone is working. Make sure you have a good stable connection. Right? And then send me a message. You're going to see my handle as master. That will be my name there. It's easy to identify. And then you will see a little blue envelope next to my name to send me a quick message. Just send me a quick message saying, I want to volunteer. Many of you know how to do this. For newcomers, I will now show you. So go to aehelp.com. It's this website here with the blue background. Okay. Click either the red button to get the premium package. It's totally worth it. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access. Or to give it a go for free, click the try demo button. Okay. And then when you are in your My Student account, you will see your computer-based practice exams, interactive course, workbook, study plans, lesson videos, and you will also see this button here, Student Partner Speaking. Click on that button. Accept that you will be polite and you are responsible for your information. Don't share private information with people. And then you get into this interface here. You see that Romelia is here. Faith, Sunantha, Domenico, Navjeet, Prince, Ipshita, Eugene, Alexander, Maud, Panu. So we've got lots of people in here already. You will see me in here. My handle, as I said earlier, is master. Click on that blue envelope next to my name and send me a message. I'd like to try. I want to volunteer. Okay. And Sunantha, not only did I make your promise, but it looks like you were first out of the gates. So here we go. Sunantha, are you ready? We'll get right into it. I will always message you back, students, just to make sure that you have a good connection and that you're there. You don't leave for a sandwich or to go to sleep. Okay. You should turn your computer off if you do that. But anyway, so yeah, I will always check and then just reply. Say, yes, I'm ready to go. And then I know that. All right. All right. I committed. Yes, I am committed to be the first one. You are now, Sunantha.
Hello.
Hi, Sunantha.
Hi, sir.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. Thank you for asking. All right, Sunantha. Well, what can we do to make your weekend better? A little bit of practice for IELTS?
Okay.
All right. Then you'll be like, now my weekend is excellent. I've practiced IELTS. Okay.
Sure.
Right? Okay. So, Sunantha, you were in the last class, which is great because that means that you have some ideas from speaking part 2. Always keep in mind your speaking part 2 ideas and notes when you're answering questions in part 3, because they can be very helpful, especially if you came up with good ideas. Okay, so I will ask you some questions. Just give me some nice full sentence answers, then I will reflect on your responses and give you some tips. Sounds good?
Good. Okay.
All right. So here we go. Now we will continue with part 3. Let's talk about creating positive experiences. What are some different ways that people can make others happy?
There are several ways to make others happy. Basically, smile is the simple way to make others happy with speak nice greeting to other, or giving a compliment to make others smile and be happy. Yesterday, I just told my friend Jane she looks gorgeous with her dress, and then she smiles immediately, and I saw her has a good mood all day.
What is a simple way to make a person feel good?
So that I mentioned in earlier, smile, and even smile or give some compliment to others, and telling joke to others. That's the simple way to make others happy without any cost.
How has society improved over the past few hundred years to enable citizens to feel better?
Societies are improved over the past few hundred years to um, feel make people feel better, because in nowadays we have a lot of way to make others feel make citizens feel better. We can a lot of welfare that people can access by the government, by enjoy in any social in a society.
What further improvements can society make to help citizens have even more positive experiences?
Pardon, could you ask me again?
What further improvements can society make to help citizens have even more positive experiences?
Further improvements that society can make citizens have more positive experience, in my perspective, I think. Um, Basically, if they got good welfare, like enough transportations or good facilities, then they will happy with basic infrastructure, and satisfied with their
Let's talk about
library.
sharing memories. Okay, good. All right. Sunantha, nice. You're improving. It's good.
Thank you.
You're getting better. You're starting to think about the questions in a more clever, calm kind of way. First of all, you're confident. You're not getting nervous when the questions get a little bit strange. And it's important for everybody who's watching to know that in IELTS Speaking Part 3, it often happens that suddenly there's a question that just seems really strange for anybody, even a native English speaker. Like, what can society do to improve positive experience? Like, what? Why are you asking me that, right? But you have to be ready for that, because of course they're going to see, can you answer that level of a question, and how good is your answer? And I'm glad that you did not freak out and panic. And you did you used a very good strategy to allow you some time to think about an answer, which was just to use the whole questions. So I said, what further improvements can society make to help citizens have even more positive experiences? And you said, okay, well, let's just use that question. Further improvements that society can make to help citizens make more positive experiences. And then that gave you lots of time to understand the question, right? You're like, oh, now I get the question. That's of course what happened. Like when we use the question, it helps us to understand the question, and then we're like, oh, okay, I can continue now with the answer, right? So you said basically if they get good welfare, like good transportation. Okay, sure. So that's good. And then you can go into more details, like more buses. If you're in, which city are you in, Sunantha?
Leong City in Thailand.
Leong City in Thailand, like more buses in Leong City, okay? And good facilities, like a new university, right? So you can always add a little, like if you give the answer and then you give a bit of an explanation, take it one step further and go, okay, what is that exactly, right? Okay. And good facilities like more schools.
More school.
And universities. Right. So, and think about places where you go to have fun, right? Like movie theaters and parks, right? So society can create more places for entertainment, improve parks, build movie theaters, and then your answer will be fantastic. Okay, let's try this answer. I'm going to repeat this and then just copy after me, Sunantha, okay? So further improvements that society can make to help citizens have even more positive experiences are basically getting good welfare, like good transportation, more buses in Leong City, good facilities like more schools and universities to improve education so people can make more money. What further improvements can society make to help citizens have even more positive experiences?
Well, further improvement that society can make to help citizens more positive experience. Basically, if they got good welfare, like good transportation, such as more buses in Rayong City, and good facility like more parking, more public places like stadiums, good school, and good universities.
Fantastic. Nice. And you're doing a good job, Sunantha. I love how you weren't just reading, but you were thinking about the content of what I said, because I improved on what I put on the screen even further when I was speaking, and you realize that. You're like, oh, Adrian isn't just reading that. He's changing some words and making it even more connected and better, so I should do the same. And you did just that. So good job, Sunantha. You're starting to figure out how to study well for improving your communication, and that's lovely. Keep doing that, keep practicing that, and you will do fantastic when it comes to your test. Okay,
thank you so much.
Okay, bye, Sunantha. Thank you for volunteering.
Bye.
All right. Oh, I think I cut her off there. I think she was saying have a good weekend. Thank you, Sunantha. Give Sunantha a thumbs up. That was really good. That was so she's not just studying hard, but she's studying smart, and that's very, very nice to see. Okay. All right, let's take the top of the list, Faith. I'm not sure we've ever spoken before, but let's give it a go. All right, Faith, are you ready? So some important tips there from Sunantha, and Sunantha's a regular student, and pay attention to how she used questions there and how she was repeating. That was very smart. That's what you want to do. Okay, and I can see lots of thumbs up there as well. Okay, Faith, let's give this a shot.
Hello?
Hi, Faith.
Hello, good evening, Adrian.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. Faith, is this the first time that we're connecting?
Yes, actually, I've been waiting for my turn. I'm a fan of yours, so I'm usually waiting for me to be called.
Okay, well, here we are. Faith, can you tell me where you are right now in the world?
I'm originally from Manila, so I'm here in the Philippines.
Okay, and why are you taking the IELTS exam?
For the reason of migration, definitely. I'm targeting a band 8 because I need it for my teacher's registration.
Yes, teachers usually, especially if you're dealing with languages, specifically English, you need a band 8 and sometimes even a band 8.5 for certain positions. So good for you. I can tell you've got good English right away. So let's go over some of these questions and then I will give you feedback. Here we go, Faith. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, then let's talk about creating positive experiences. What is a simple way to make a person feel good?
For me, a person could feel good basically when all our needs are met. And for instance, biological needs includes that we are full and we have eaten. And of course, the sense of belongingness could also make a person feel welcomed and appreciated.
How has society improved over the past few hundred years to enable citizens to feel better?
Well, most of the improvements are towards education and medical care. I believe that the government are trying their best to put their best foot forward to aid the citizens to have a better education and welfare in terms of medical facilities.
What further improvements can society make to help citizens have even more positive experiences?
Like what I've mentioned, probably they could give more emphasis on the healthcare, especially. We have noticed in the past years the importance of prioritizing the health facilities to be upgraded into world class, and so that we do not have to worry about the diseases going around us. So that's it.
Let's talk about sharing memories. Why is it important to share our memories with other people?
I believe it's important because it helps us to keep the memories alive. Whenever we speak about our experiences with other people, we get to relive and reminisce the good things that happened in our life. It gives us a sense of pride.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. It's a sense of pride. Nice vocabulary. Good. Very nice. Okay, fantastic. Faith, that's good. Well, I can tell you with quite a bit of confidence that you should be able to get a band 8, at least in your speaking section.
Wow.
Maybe even an 8.5. There are a couple of slight oddities in your
very
responses. Yeah, and that certainly doesn't help. So first of all, you shouldn't be nervous because obviously, you've practiced English quite a bit. You use it regularly and you're doing a good job of it. One tip to make sure that you get that band 8, even a band 8.5, is keep in mind the reason for your answers, the why. You referred to the education system and the medical welfare system in society to help people have more positive experiences. And I think, people will agree with you. They will say, oh yes, absolutely, those are important. Those are key. Those are big improvements over the past few hundred years. But you didn't really tell me why in either of those two answers very clearly. Let me just ask you in a very simple way. So for you, especially because you're in the band 8 to 9 range, content becomes even more important because you have the vocabulary, you have the grammar. So it all comes down to content, okay? So that's why the why is so important. So let me ask you in a simple way. Why is the medical system and improvements in the medical system so important? You gave me a little bit. You said that they don't have to worry about diseases, but give me a little bit of a better answer to that why question.
For me, we have to emphasize the improvement on our medical facilities because health is wealth. If the citizens are healthy, they would be able to perform their duties to better the society.
And themselves, right?
Yes.
Exactly. If I'm not healthy, what does that lead to? So if I catch the flu, if I'm ill, then what does that lead to?
It could stop a person from working, and of course it would be a series of unfortunate events like not providing for one's family, and that could also lead to death.
Right. Now, I think you're overthinking it. So, one important tip, and this is for everybody who's watching, in the IELTS, you want to think about the examiner like an alien or a genius child. They understand everything that you say, but they are new to the world and they don't know every detail of the world. So, you want to fill in those details. So, if a person falls ill, then they suffer, right? So, the problem with illness is it leads to suffering. The benefit of having a good medical system is that it alleviates the suffering of the population, right, from illness. And that's kind of what I was looking for. Like I was looking for that, okay, with a good medical system, it reduces suffering and creates a positive atmosphere where people are productive. That would have been the kind of logical reason. And yes, your examiner knows this, but you still have to tell them that, Faith, okay?
Right.
All right. So let's look at this, just this one question here. What is a simple way to make a person feel good? Both you and Sunantha answered this well. So meeting basic needs, yes, and definitely smiling or giving a compliment. Those are all good answers. So you said, for me, a person. In part 3, Faith, try to avoid first person communication, especially at the beginning. So take out the for me part. Some examiners are really strict about that in part 3. And if you start saying I, me, my, they start interrupting you. If you start saying, for example, for instance, they start interrupting you because historically they feel that the candidate goes off topic, starts rambling. So you want to be a little bit more third person. Okay, so third person objective voice. So a person, and be affirmative. Instead of using modal could, use can. So affirmative language. So a person can feel good basically when all their needs are met. Their needs are met. And instead of, for instance, let's just take it out. And you can say fundamental biological needs, meaning, take out the we, the person, meaning the person is full and has eaten, and here's where we go with the explanation, and a sense of belonging. A sense of belonging, how can you say that? Let's test your vocabulary. This is for everybody. You can answer me in the chat. A sense of belonging for a human when we're together with others. What does that need? It starts with the prefix kun. How do you say that? A sense of belonging. Something ship. I'll give you a little bit more.
Companionship.
That's right. Yes, a sense of belonging, companionship. Right. Why? Because we're social creatures. Right? Okay, so just kind of showing you like how we can push that content from that band 8 to that very clear band 9, specifically for the IELTS, like what they're looking for. It's that third person, very specific, explained very, very clearly, right? And then if you want to throw in a personal example where they can't interrupt you, you can do something like this. This is the reason I belong to a book club. Boom. And they don't have time to interrupt you. Okay. So here we go. Let me just say this and then you can repeat this and everybody who's watching can repeat this as well. Okay. So what is a simple way to make a person feel good? A person can feel good basically when all their needs are met. Fundamental biological needs, meaning the person is full and has eaten, a sense of belonging or companionship, because humans are social. This is the reason I belong to a book club. What is a simple way to make a person feel good? Go ahead, Faith. Just repeat that if you're still there.
Okay, sorry. A person can feel good basically when all their needs are met. Fundamental biological needs, meaning the person is full and has eaten, and a sense of belonging and companionship because humans are social creatures. This is the reason I belong to a book club.
Okay, good. So more specific, we've taken out that personal part at the beginning. We've given a little bit more reasoning to it. So for students who are in the higher levels, especially for students who are in linguistics majors or looking to be teachers, what you need to do is record your answers and really listen to each answer and think about, all right, how can I make this even better? What can I do to make it more concise, improve the language quality, the vocabulary, and the reasoning, right? Because Band 8, Band 9, it's very good to expert. So you really have to assess, right, those little differences. Does that make sense, Faith?
That's right. Actually, I've been trying to record myself, and yeah, I agree with what you've mentioned. I'm not making sense sometimes. So that tip that you've given me would really help me a lot.
Okay, perfect. Faith, thank you so much for volunteering. Come back again in the future. Lovely, great English. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you, Adrian.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was Faith. I'm sure she will make a fantastic teacher wherever she goes. All right, let's take somebody else. Let's jump to the bottom here. I don't want people to feel like I'm only going from the top. So Juan, we have not spoken in a long time, but it doesn't mean I won't go back to the top. Ipshita, I had you on my radar there, so hang in there, okay? So Juan is available. Are you ready, Juan? Yes, Yanni, she had very clear pronunciation, certainly. She sounded like a native speaker from some other part of the world. Definitely, I agree. It was Band 9. Very clear and good thumbs up. Okay, Juan. Juan says, I think I am. All right. We are all ready, right? So it's just how well we do. Oop, there we go.
Hello.
Hi, Juan. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Awesome. Juan, remind me, are you in Mexico?
Argentina.
Argentina, yes. We have somebody volunteering from Mexico as well, but I think his name is Pablo. All right, Juan, Argentina. Right, of course. Okay, Juan, we haven't heard from you in a while. How is life?
It's going well. I feel a bit under the weather because I got my COVID vaccine yesterday, and it gave me some fever. So yeah, I'm a bit I don't know how to say it. I feel a bit weak.
Yeah,
But
I'm very conflicted regarding the COVID vaccine, but we won't get into those politics. So I have a lot, if not answers, I definitely have a lot of questions about it. Okay, well, Juan, I hope that you get better soon. Just drink lots of fluid. That's the trick, right? Lots and lots and lots of fluids just to try to get it through your system as quickly as possible.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, that's
Well, Juan, it's a perfect time to talk about positive experiences with you then, okay? Hey, you're feeling better already. You're laughing. You're feeling better.
yeah.
What is the saying? Laughter is the best medicine, right? That's what they say. Right?
Yes.
I'm sure others have. I would guess that that's probably every language has that saying, right? Laughter is the best medicine. That's how we say it in English anyway. Laughter is the best medicine. And it's
I don't
true,
know.
right?
I don't know if the best, but it certainly helps.
It is the best, Juan. It's the best. You watch. You keep laughing like this. You'll be running a race in the hour. Okay, Juan, let's do this. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Give me some nice full sentence answers, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. So what further improvements can society make to help citizens have even more positive experiences?
I think society can do a lot, especially governments. I think they can give better access to mental health, and also help people get access to parks and green places. This could be very helpful for people to have a good time with their family and their kids. And people after a night's experience at the park can feel really good. For example, I last week I went with my baby niece to the park and we had a great time. It was very positive for me also.
Let's talk about sharing memories. Why is it important to share our memories with other people?
I think it's important because in order to get to know each other, I can get to know someone, but their memories, the things he or she says about past experiences, and how she or he confronted or acted in a specific situation. Uh, I'm studying a course, a technical course, and I met this guy, and we started talking about our past, and we realized we actually went to the same school in high school, and we kind of became friends.
Is it always good to share our past with others?
It's not always good, I think, because yeah, people can become friends. We can share experiences and all that, but not all people have how do you say? Not all people have a positive energy, or have some people are very selfish, and they can use past experiences to tell them in order to do something selfish or mean.
Okay, let's stop there. All right. Getting into a bit of philosophy, right? Just what you needed with your COVID side effects. It's philosophy. All right. Well, we'll give you a little bit of a break. I'm sure it's not easy. Okay. So Juan, let me reflect on this a little bit. Overall, not bad. So, you would easily get, I think, a 6.5. You can get a 7 as well. I think that your English is quite good. So I think, if we have the chance to sit and talk for a while, I would give you a 7, maybe even a 7.5. You just have to make sure that you're able to show that in a shorter amount of time with specific questions on the IELTS. And that's the trick, right? There are a lot of people who take the IELTS who have good English, they just have difficulty showing that English in the time limit. And this is, and in the constraints of the exam, the parameters of the exam. And that's the trick. That's why you have to study it, right? And you're doing that, and that's good. So what do you think? I mean, you've volunteered a few times, Juan, so you might be able to guess my thoughts. Self-assessment is an important skill. What do you think is one of my tips that I'm going to give you right away? One of the bigger tips. What do you think?
I think it's going to be related to fluency. I haven't practiced in a while.
Yeah, definitely you want to be a little bit more fluent, but it wouldn't be my primary tip. It wouldn't be my first tip. Can anybody in the chat or any of the viewers guess?
Maybe I could have been more accurate in my answers.
Now you're on the right track. Yanni so Yanni was very quick to give you an answer there in the chat, and I agree with Yanni. Yanni, the answer that you gave itself can be more concise. So Yanni says, should make it concisely for part 3 answers. Yes, Yanni, or one word, two words, be concise. So Juan, you need to be concise, okay? And to be concise, you can do it 2 ways. One is to use vocabulary that's more concise, where one word expresses the same as 3 or 4 words. And also the ideas can be more concise. So content can create concise language, and vocabulary can create concise language, okay? So I had to interrupt you a couple times. That's always a very good tip, that you're not being concise enough. Is when the examiner is interrupting you, it's a good chance that you're not being concise enough. Okay. So
Yeah, at some point I
let's
wasn't.
let's
Yeah.
take this one here, Juan. The why is it important to share memories with other people? And you said, I think it's important because in order to get to know each other, I can get to know someone by their memories. Like here in this first part, you're basically, all you're saying is it is important to share memories to become familiar with others. Okay? So all of that can be said in all of that, right? So shrinking it, and more and more and more. Okay? So, and then you said, and what he or she says and how he or she acted in a specific situation. And then you said, I'm studying a technical course. And remember what I said to Faith, as soon as you start introducing the first person in part 3, the I, me, my, you have to be extremely strategic or they will interrupt you. You said, I met this guy and we started talking, and then you said that you eventually became friends. It was too much. You have to keep those personal examples very, very short, okay? So it is important to share memories to become familiar with others. The way... so their experiences and actions give a lot of information about their personalities. I made a new friend in my engineering class after he shared his experience living in the US. Okay, so see how it's just more concise and more to the point, using a bit of vocabulary and just condensing the content. Do you see that, Juan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's try this answer. It is important to share memories to become familiar with others. Their experiences and actions give a lot of information about their personality. I made a new friend in my engineering class after he shared his experience living in the US. Why is it important to share our memories with other people?
It is important to share memories to become familiar with others. Their experiences and actions give a lot of information about their personalities. I met a new friend in my engineering class after he shared his experience living in the US.
Okay, so practice that concise language, Juan. And there's somebody in the chat that's asking, part 3 is not about us, right? No, it's not. So part 3 is about a specific topic, but regarding society or people, not specifically you. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't give a personal example. You can give a personal example, but you have to be very strategic. It has to be at the end, it has to be quick, and it has to be without saying for instance or for example. And then it's going to work really well, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Juan, lots of fluids, lots of orange juice, vitamin C, feel better, okay?
Thank you.
And then hopefully you'll have a good start to the week and you won't get sick over the next few months.
Yeah, I guess so. I think this is going to last just a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually feeling better now.
Okay. And hopefully the effect of the vaccine lasts a little bit longer. For me, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I got my COVID vaccine like a half a year ago, and then like 2 weeks after I got my COVID vaccine and felt better, I got COVID. So I don't know how much it helped me. I don't want to be that guy that tells you bad news, but that happened to me. So, all right, Juan, hopefully that doesn't happen to you.
I think that happens because there are a lot of variants right now, so
yeah,
it's kind of tricky.
that's the tricky part for sure. Okay, Juan, nice talking to you. We'll talk again soon, okay?
Same. Thank you, Adrian. See you.
Bye for now. All right, that was Juan in Argentina. Okay, let's take somebody else. Ipshita, you've been so patient. Let's see if you're still there. Are you ready? Just checking the time there, students. That's what I was looking up. Thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. Concise language. Concise language. That was the emphasis there with Juan. So concise language means saying a good idea in a short way. Everybody should practice that, whether you're band 6, 7, 8. You want to create concise language. It's not just important for your speaking, it's also very important in your writing. Task 1 and task 2. Okay. All right. Ipshita. Here we go. Hello, Ipshita. I hear that you answered my call, but I don't hear anything. I wonder if you enabled your microphone or if you have a stable connection. If you have a dynamic or satellite connection, that could be an issue, especially if you're being bounced through some of the Asian countries like China, especially. It's tough to connect. Okay, Ipshita, check it out. Check what's going on. Try to connect with somebody else in the chat. Send them a message. And then check back with me, okay, later on. All right. Somebody, meanwhile, in the chat is asking, is it good to give an example for every answer in part 3? No, it's not. Let me give you an idea here. So that's a good question. I can't read the Cyrillic. I should almost learn Cyrillic just so I could read the names of our volunteers and students from the Slavic countries. Okay, so the question is it a good idea to give example for every answer in part 3? No. So you should give examples for about, let's say, 60% of your answers. It should be clear, like, you know, when you're answering, explaining for certain questions, you can realize that, okay, that's definitely a question where an example would be helpful. Okay, so you should give examples for about 60% of your answers, especially when examples are clearly helpful for the explanation. And along with that, okay, you should always include an explanation, but you should 100% of the time include an explanation. So you should always think about that why question. Okay, all right, that was good. All right. Simran is asking, what are natural fillers? Natural fillers are saying words like and or syllables like and and natural fillers are okay as long as you do not overuse them and you're not using them to think about English, but you're thinking about information. If you're using natural fillers to think about English, you will lose marks. If you're like vocabulary, I mean, or grammar. If you are using natural fillers like and to think about content, like what you are going to say, and a lot of you have done that. So I think Faith, Pablo, Sunantha, most of you started, especially your first answer with this, I think society can do a lot. Somebody else started with that I mentioned earlier. I think that was Sunantha. That's okay. It's okay to start like that. It's just telling me that you're still thinking about your answer. But if you keep going and before every word and sentence, that can become a problem. Okay. Yanni, it has to be English natural fillers. Be careful about that, okay? English natural fillers are like and some languages use other natural fillers, like Japanese, for example, uses e, to, no. If you use non-English natural fillers that some people tend to do, especially from East Asian cultures, you will lose marks, okay? Because it sounds unnatural. So you can't be like e, to, as I mentioned earlier, smile, and the examiner will be like, e, to, what? No, what? So no, you can't use a Japanese natural filler and hope that it makes sense, okay? Okay. Akira says, yeah. All right. Okay. So English natural fillers when thinking about content. Okay. Fillers when thinking about English, not so much, and not so much when using other language natural fillers. Okay. All right. Okay, let's take another volunteer. Alexander. Let's see if Alexander's ready. Are you ready? Hi, Alexander. Chen's like, ugh. Yep, I know, Chen. Yeah, because you probably know that in East Asian cultures, often non-natural fillers in English are being used. Yeah, so that's the wonky face. All right, Alexander, here we go.
Hello.
Hi, Alexander.
Hi, Adrian.
How is the day?
Oh, become much better when you choose me.
Nice. Thank you for that. That makes me feel good too. Already
I feel like at least.
You feel lucky. All right. Alexander, luck is what we make it, right? That's what they say anyway. Okay, Alexander, let's do this. I'm going to ask you a few questions about memories. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's talk about sharing memories. Why is it important to share our memories with other people?
Well, in my view, it's a very good method for social communications, to share your personal memories with another person, probably find some common in your life with another person, with your possible friends or relatives. So it's a good cause for small talk or for more deep discussions. So sharing views on some situation which can explain your vision on life or some events, and maybe find some similar.
Is it always good to share our past with others?
Of course not. It depends on situation, depends on person. Sometimes it could be dangerous. So we should be more careful about status of this talk situation itself. Probably the content of your sharing should be quite sensitive as well. Before you share, you probably presumably should think about it, try to weigh it, possible effect of this communication, effect of this sharing.
What are some ways that people can share their positive experiences with other individuals?
Oh, it could be very good example of sharing of your success story, or some possibility to give good inspiration point for another person, or probably give, like we say, a small tip or hot advice.
What are some ways that people can share their positive experiences with other individuals?
Let me I assume that it could be, I reckon it could be good to share, because in return you can receive the same advice or same experience, same kind of valuable experience from another person. At least you could help somebody and receive help from another person in return.
Okay. Let's stop there. That's the end of part 3. All right. So, Alexander, good English. You want to be a little bit more melodramatic. So your English is a little bit flat, which is okay in everyday communication, and it's quite possibly your style of speech as well in English or in Russian per se. But on the exam, because you're being recorded and they might have to listen to the recording again, you want to be a little bit more Italian or a little bit more Spanish, which means that you're a little bit more like blah, 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 because English is very tonal. That's why people love it for music as well. It's more like a like it goes up and down, right? And that gives more emphasis to what you're saying as well, whether it's good or bad. So pay attention to that. Intonation does matter in that sense, okay? All right. So let's take a look at a couple of your answers here. The first one, why is it important to share memories with other people? Stick to a couple of clear ideas, good, strong, affirmative language. Well, in my view, it's a very good method. It's a very good method for social communication. Stay away from those yours. This is a tip for everybody. It's a very common mistake because in everyday communication, we do this. It's okay. It's normal. Although it's not considered good communication because we don't want to directly speak to the listener. We want to give the general idea. So you want to take out all of these yours. You used it a lot. You, your. Especially in the exam, you don't want to speak to the examiner.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying, right? So you want to say it's a very good method for social communication to share you can just take it out, personal memories with another person to find something in common. Possibly friends. A lot of the cases when we use you or your, it's just a filler. It's not even needed. Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
So possibly friends and family. Okay. It's good cause. I don't like using cause. I like because, but okay. It's good because it's good. Let's take out the because altogether. It's good for small chat. You mixed two expressions together. Pay attention to this, everyone. It's chit chat. Okay, chit chat. Repeat after me, Alexander. Chit chat.
Chit chat.
Small talk.
Small talk.
We usually don't say small chat. Okay. It's either small talk or chit chat.
Oh, chit chat. Oh, thank you.
Okay. Or to express deeper views. Okay. All right. Let's just try repetition here, Alexander. I'm going to say this response now with those corrections and then copy after I'm done. Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So, well, in my view, it's a very good method for social communication, to share personal memories with another person, to find common history, possibly friends and family. It's good for small talk or to express deeper views.
Well, in my view, it's a good way to share personal experience in communication with family members or friends, to express a personal view. Sorry, I did not copy you 100%.
That's okay. That's okay. I don't want you to necessarily copy me 100%. I want you to copy the content more than the exact words. So try it one more time.
Well, in my view, it's a good way to express a personal experience with small talk with family members or friends, like a way of sharing your personal experience in communication.
Good. Take out that your, right? In a way of sharing personal experience without the your, and then you're on the right track. It takes practice. It takes practice to selectively speak, especially in a second language, and to take out some of those parts, like saying, to be honest, as a lot of people say, which is unnecessary, right? So, but work on it. Once you work on it and once you remove those parts, then it will come naturally. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Alexander, this last question that I asked you, and this is important for whoever is going to be my next volunteer. What are some ways that people can share their positive experiences with other individuals? This question, for maybe not for everybody, but for many people, would mean like the method of sharing the positive experience. So showing videos, telling stories, showing a photo album, using social media posts, right? Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. So that's kind of what this question was targeting, and that's why I repeated the question, because I wasn't getting a clear answer for it. So when you hear that the examiner repeat the question, they won't always do it. Sometimes they'll just jump to the next question, they'll interrupt you. But when you hear the examiner repeat the question like that, then it means that you've missed something in the question. So you need to really pay attention and think, okay, memories, what is he talking about, or what is she talking about here? Okay, I guess he's talking about like the ways that people share their memories, right? So, okay. All right. Alexander, keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you, Leon. Very much appreciated.
All right. Goodbye, Alexander.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. That was good. So just a couple of points there, everyone. In the IELTS, even if you have heard a question 100 times, like what is your favorite hobby, you have to give the answer like you're really excited and it's the first time you're talking about it. Oh, I love collecting coins. The stories that coins tell about human history and their value, it's just amazing for me. I have been collecting coins since I'm 5 years old. So you want to sound excited, okay? You want to sound excited. English is a very tonal language. Keep that in mind. Okay, let's take somebody else. Kevin. Kevin says, can I be your last pick? Sure. Kevin, are you ready? All right, let's see if Kevin is with us. All right, Kevin.
Hello, Mr. Adrian.
Hi, Kevin. I recognize your voice. How is the weekend in Vietnam today?
I haven't actually started my weekend yet. I mean, it's coming tomorrow. So again, for now, I think it is off to a great start, sir. I have been selected for your speaking class, so I am super pumped.
All right. I'm flattered. You're flattering me, just like Alexander. And how is the progress coming along for your plans to go to, I believe it was Australia, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes. I have been meeting a few friends who studied in Australia, but again, sadly with that, the decision is still up in the air, sir. But again, I am still I still need to get my IELTS test done and over with first. So
okay, fair enough. Well, let me help you a little bit. Are you ready for a few questions?
Yes.
Okay, then here we go. Let's talk about sharing memories. Is it always good to share our past with others?
I don't think so. As a matter of fact, I think sharing one's past with other people can be a bad idea, especially when people have just met, because some people in the past they might have had some wrongdoings that they would not be so proud of sharing, like they have led some lives of a criminal. So sharing those years may paint them in a very negative light.
What are some ways that people can share their positive experiences with other individuals?
I think one way to share positive events with other people is to invite them to happy occasions in one's life, like a birthday party or even the wedding ceremony. Another method to do this is to, first of all, capture the moments in forms of videos or photographs and then post them on social media so that other people can experience the event vicariously.
Which of these methods is the most popular and why?
I think the most favored approach out of the two that I have just mentioned is the one um, of capturing the fond memories and then sharing them online, because not only does it allow for the content to reach more viewers, but it also lasts much longer. I mean, my live stream graduation speech for my undergraduate study um, on Facebook could still be replayed today.
That's the end of part 3. That concludes the speaking section of the exam. You will have your score in a couple days after you finish all the other sections online, and then your official scores with your certificate in the mail in 10 days. Goodbye. Okay, Kevin, impressive as always. And I can tell that, you're working on being concise. Good.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for noticing that.
Of course, yeah. Being concise is key, and I keep bringing that up, and you realize that, okay, yeah, let me just do this in a concise way, and it's working. It's working, so that's good. All right, well, let me give you a little bit of feedback. So that's definitely an easy band 8.5. I think, some examiners might even get you up in the band 9 for those answers anyway. I certainly would. Some examiners are very picky when it comes to just a little bit of pronunciation features or 1 or 2 slight grammatical mistakes, but I think it's a 50-50, 8.5 to 9. Okay, and that's a great place to be.
Absolutely, yes.
The question that I asked you, is it always good to share our past with others? I haven't heard an excellent answer for this one yet, honestly, just because I feel like, I'm waiting. So the examiners do have their own ideas, their own concepts, right? And they're kind of thinking of like the general public. And you and a couple of other volunteers answered this question okay, but none of the answers seemed specific enough. So you said, I don't, and then you kind of rethought the answer, and you said, so as a matter of fact, sharing one's past with other people can be a bad idea, especially when they have just met, because in the past they may have been, a criminal. It can paint them in a negative light. Very nice, expressive, idiomatic language. It means create a bad impression. So when I think about this sharing our past with others, some of the obvious points that come to mind, maybe it's because I do a lot of online teaching and training, is, for example, identity theft. Right? So that's why you shouldn't share personal information, because it can be used against you, right? So identity theft could be one of those as well, or used to extort the person, right? So if you tell somebody, something that was a negative experience in the past, they can use that to bribe as well, right? So yeah. So those are kinds of the ideas that I was looking for there. Like, what are the actual negative consequences of sharing certain memories with people, right? In school, one of the common ones that might come to mind, Kevin, is bullying, right? Mm-hmm. That happens with children often when they just openly share their experiences, and then they get bullied for those, and that happens in adulthood as well. So I was looking for some of those specific ones, but okay, whatever, it's all good. It wasn't so just giving everybody an idea of what to think about. And on the IELTS, you don't need to be shy. So I tell people, don't curse on the IELTS exam, or don't use foul language unnecessarily, but you can have a strong opinion. So you can say that sharing personal information and past with others can lead to a lot of problematic situations, such as identity theft. Millions of people each day share too much of their past online, and because of this, they lose money, or even worse, right? So that kind of answer. All right.
Absolutely, sir. Yes.
All right.
Got it. Thank you.
Good. Kevin, this was a really nice answer. So what are some ways that people can share their positive experiences? You said, I think one way to share positive events with others is to invite them to happy events like birthdays and weddings. And then you said capture moments with video or photographs, and then they can live those experiences vicariously. Kevin, can you explain to everybody this vocabulary, vicariously, what that means? It's a good piece of vocabulary.
So again, Mr. Adrian, I have learned this language from you. So first of all, I have to give the credit to you. First, for the meaning, for the way I understand the word is that vicariously means to experience an event indirectly through like another person, like through the materials others post.
Yeah, exactly. So you can almost say through the eyes of the other person. So vicariously means to experience an event indirectly through the eyes and emotions of the other person.
Yes, absolutely, sir.
One classic example, of course, is parents and children. So parents often re-experience their childhood vicariously through their sons and daughters, right? Okay. Nice vocabulary. It's great that you're using vocab. I didn't know you learned that from me, but I'm glad that you're using it. Very good. Okay. Kevin, overall, very good. Keep working on that, being concise, and don't be shy to give a more direct answer, like identity theft, bullying, and such, for sharing memories. Okay?
Thank you, sir. I will do that.
All right. Kevin, keep up the good studies and keep your dreams alive. I think you would have a great time in Australia. Okay?
Yes. Yes, thank you so much, sir. Please have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Bye, Kevin. All right. Kevin, working hard as usual. Students, we are unfortunately more or less out of time for today. I'm having so much fun with you. I would stay here all day long, but I have to get to a video shoot. The other people would not be happy if I don't show up. So I have to go. But thank you so much to all of the volunteers. Thank you to all the people who were in today's live class. It's been a pleasure to be with you. Check out aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Check out gltshelp.com for general IELTS. These are the websites we use as we did today. Use the premium package. Use that discount code MARK9 for that 10% discount. It's worth it. It's lifetime access, one-time payment. Helps us help you. Students, I will be back on Friday. I'm going to post the schedule right now for the upcoming week. No class on Thursday this coming week, but we will have 2 classes on Friday, 2 classes Saturday, and then a light haul class on Sunday. So subscribe to the channel for all of you watching so you get those notifications, you get those updates, and come back and study regularly to see improvements. That is the key. Okay. Much love to all of you. Thumbs back at you. And see you next week, everyone. I'm Adrian, signing out from beautiful Victoria here in Canada. Bye for now.